Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know the lighting is really bad in here because England is just dark in the winter, so I apologise for that. But yeah, today I just wanted to do a quick talk about stuff that's been going on with me and things that have happened to me during my journey through the army and being in and out of it, and just things that happened along the way, and focusing on the journey rather than the destination. So I talked a bit in my last video about when I was at basic training and how I got back trooped, and like a lot of things happened to me. So basically I got ill. I got like a chest infection twice, and I had like really bad colds. I got injured twice while I was there, and obviously that made me feel really down, and like I was behind everyone else, and like I was seeing my friends move forward and like progress while I was still stuck in the same place. So obviously that would make me feel really discouraged and quite alone, and like I started to think like, why am I here, and like why am I doing this, and I'm not even doing well, and like maybe I should just leave and things like that. And even still now, sometimes in my current job, even though like I'm enjoying it much better than training, so where I am currently, I sometimes think like, why am I doing this? Like I can't even do this job, like I'm not as good as everyone else, or like something happens, like for example my injury, and I can't do the fitness like everyone else, and I just start to think like, why am I here, why am I even doing this? So yeah, I just wanted to share some ways that I've been dealing with that and overcoming those fears and like things like that. So obviously like all of these things I've been thinking are like lies that are like in my head, and like thoughts, like attacking thoughts if you like, which everyone gets sometimes. I'm sure you can like agree to that. And so I like got quite down with it, and I was letting it get to me a bit, and then I started like to think, oh actually, like no, I don't have to let these thoughts like affect me. So I decided to like take some action and so basically I decided to try and get closer to God and hear from him more and see what he had to say about this. So I started doing this, and I was reminded of some prophetic words I had like quite a long time ago, even back to like a couple of years back. I was just like reading over them and listening to them and just reminding myself of what people had spoken over me and these truths to counteract the lies, if you like. So I was doing this for quite some time. I was doing this every day, like in my quiet time, when I read my Bible and when I was praying, and it just like completely transformed my mind, because it was like I was bringing those truths back that God was saying about me, rather than what the enemy was saying about me, and rather than believing these lies in my head and feeling bad about myself. So yeah, and I was also reminded of this Bible verse like during this time. It's in John 10:10. It says, the thief comes to kill, steal and destroy, but I have come that they may have life, and life to the full. And this like really reminded me, like the enemy comes to steal our future, to steal the plans that God has for us and the great things that he has like in his purpose for us to accomplish, that are going to impact people, that are going to impact us and bring like great stuff into our lives. But the enemy doesn't want this to happen, so he obviously comes in and tries to stop everything. But while we are close to God and we listen to God and we take on what he said about us, rather than listening to the enemy and like these negative thoughts, we can actually move forward. We just have to be strong in our mind. So I think it was really important to me in this season that I learned to protect my mind and to get my mind strong, because when I actually looked at what God was doing around me in the midst of all these troubles, it was far better than all the troubles that I was actually encountering at that time. So for example, when I got to training, there was someone in the training team. I think it was I'm not going to say who it was obviously, but this person, as soon as I met her, like something like really moved me in my heart, and I was like, I really want to pray for her. Like, God, what should I do? Like I feel like I need to talk to her. So I just started to pray for her like in my own time. And I was thinking I'd love to talk to her, I'd love to share the gospel with her, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to be alone with her. Like I just had a lot of compassion for her, and she was such a nice person. I just really wanted to talk to her about Jesus. And it just so happens that when I got back trooped and injured, I had to be taken by car somewhere during my training to like a different part of England, which was like really rare because I was like the only one who had this experience. And the person who was taking me on a like 2-hour car journey, and it was that person, that girl who I'd been praying for and I wanted to talk to, which was like so amazing. So I look at it like, if I hadn't have got back trooped and had to be taken to this other place, I wouldn't have got that time with her, and I actually got to share a few like really significant things with her, which like I feel like really spoke to her, and like it was really important for her to hear, even if it didn't look like a big thing at the time. I really believe it, and I hope that God is like moving in her life right now because of that conversation. So yeah, it just shows like, even if like in the midst of all your trouble, where you've been moved back, where you think everything's bad, God can actually work that situation for a good thing, for multiple good things in my case. So then I started to see it from his perspective, and I obviously got my mind in a better place, and everything was actually not as bad as I thought it was. So I think like through all of this like process and things happening like that, I've definitely learned a lot of things, but one thing I've learned is that to focus on what God is doing in the moment rather than focusing on where I'm trying to get to. Like if I'm trying to get to a destination, like I'm trying to get into my career or whatever, that's great and that's really important, and that's obviously good for me, but that's not actually what we should be focusing on. Like God has really showed me that we should focus on the moment in front of us rather than in the future, because there's people like that we need to meet like here and now that we can easily let slip away, like we can ignore it, and there's like significant moments that we need to like encounter him, and we need to speak to those people and bring those encounters to others, and we can easily miss them if we're too focused on the future. So yeah, I've just really learned to do that, and to just be present and focus on the moment and the people, and like loving people well, and like being kind to people. Who can I speak to? Who can I help today? Instead of being like, oh, I'm in this horrible situation, I'm injured, I've been sent back. But by being sent back, actually there's more people I can meet, there's more people I can reach, there's more people I can love, there's more friends that I can make. And like if I look at it like that, like nothing's actually anywhere near as bad as I first thought it was. So I also find that sometimes at night, like not while I'm asleep, but while I'm falling asleep, is when my mind feels really under attack. So like the enemy will come like at night because our mind's like vulnerable and we're like alone, and like that's kind of a potential thinking time. So sometimes I get these thoughts at night, and obviously I'm doing this process to counteract them. But not too long ago I had a lot of like, my mind was really under attack at night, and it was like I had these thoughts like telling me I'm not good enough to do my job, and like I'm never going to get fit again, my injury's not going to get better, and like I had all this fear, and like I was like, this isn't me, because I do want to do this job, like I'm looking forward to this job and like everything. And I woke up in the morning and I went into my mum's room to say hi or whatever, and she just it was so funny, like after I'd had that awful night, she was like, the Lord's given me a word for you. And I was like, no way, like, and she told me it like in that moment, and it was exactly like the opposite, the truth of what God was saying about me in that moment, and it completely counteracted the whole night of all the negative thoughts and the lies that were going through my head. And she didn't know that I'd had that. And so in the morning, like, God knew that I was going through that, and he wanted to tell me the opposite and tell me, no, actually this is who you are in the right job, you're doing a good job, and you need to stay here, this is where you need to be, and like you're doing great, and like nothing's gonna go wrong. And like it was just all these things that were like exactly what I needed to hear in that moment, because yeah, God hears like our troubles, and he wants to tell us the truth about who we are. And I just really like, I was having my quiet time as well, and I just got this thought, I wrote it down, and I just really feel like prophecy is a key to nullifying hopelessness. And I just feel like, yeah, prophecy is just so amazing. We need to get prophecy as often as we can, because it really restores our hope in who we really are and what we need to do, and just brings back our peace and our joy. So yeah, that's something that God's been speaking to me a lot about recently. and I hope that can speak to you too. So if you haven't been getting prophecy recently, like I really recommend it. Like give it out and receive it. Like we always need prophecy, like even if it's for the really far away future, not for now, it's still gonna help, it's gonna come to pass at some point. So yeah, I think that's really important. So yeah, that's just something I really felt I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope that encourages you, and I pray that you would experience things like that as well, and God would help you to see the important things in the present and not be too focused on the future. And I just want to pray this prayer over you too. I just pray, Lord, let our hearts be meek before you, and let us trust in you and not consider ourselves better than others, and let us be humbled and quieted in your presence like a child with their mother. And I pray that our souls will be content with you, and that we would trust you, and that we would wait upon you now and forever. Amen. I just pray that over you. And that's from Psalm 131, which has really been speaking to me recently. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you're encouraged, and I bless you to have a good new year. Bye.